Hi, I'm Randy Main, and we're going to be fixing an old rusty key machine. So I brought a couple of old rusty key machines here, and these are what we call single cutters or simple key machines. And these are as they're found, they're old and rusty. Here's one that's our goal that's been polished up and everything works. But before we get into that, why don't we look and see what a key machine does? So, let's see what does a key machine actually do. So here is one of the machines that we already looked at, but I went ahead and built the whole thing, put a motor, and got everything polished up. So you need goggles. So let's go ahead and see what a key machine does. We're going to duplicate a key that I have a cylinder for. So I'm going to put it in here. Now we will look at exactly what I'm doing in greater detail, but let's just go ahead and cut a key and see what goes on. Put your goggles on. So we're just going to lay in and hear that old familiar sound of a key machine being cutting. I did this for 40 years and I just adore this sound. Or I better, I guess. Alright, so we went ahead, duplicated a key, and I hope it works. So we're going to put it in the cylinder. And oh, look at that. It turns, it works. So if you had your key duplicated on this machine, it would have worked. So let's go back and look at how we're going to get to doing that. All right, here's our goal. I'm calling this a key machine, but of course it needs a belt, a motor, a base, and somebody to operate it. But it has various bearings and things that are supposed to go whir and whomp, whomp, whomp. So this is what our goal is to get something that looks nice and is functional. And the whole purpose of our little talk here is to take a yucky one, like one of these, and turn it in from rusty and dusty into shiny and operable. If we could get a close-up here, here is a shaft that is part of this key machine, and it's all rusty. So we're going to take things apart and make them less rusty. But let's look at what a key machine actually is. Let's go back to this one here. This is the jaw unit, and this is what holds the keys. It has a clamp, and we clamp the keys in. This gauges the keys. We'll look more at this later. The guide, the cutter, the pulley, and a little wire brush just for fun. So we're going to take a junking machine and make it look like this. Now, this machine is what I call a stock standard single cutter. This is the standard of the industry. So we're going to be talking about repairing a key machine, but I have to tell you, not all key machines are repairable. Some of them, and I repair key machines, are so complicated that I can't do it. It's a factory-only thing. So if you're going to get a rusty key machine or one that just needs repair, you should know that not all of them are repairable. Maybe we'll look at a few of the, I'll have some of those machines here. So we're going to take the standard of the industry and fix it. All right, here is a key machine as they're found in the wild. If we look, it's rusty, it's missing parts, and we don't know exactly what it does. It's missing its belt, it's missing the motor, but before we do anything else, we're going to have to clean this. So I have some tools here You have a little mallet to help things want to jump out, a wrench, a hammer. Now here's a tool that we don't want to be using. What kills key machines is putting vice grips on a bearing surface. So we'll be looking at the bearing surface. Here's one right here. They're supposed to be polished and nice. This one's semi-polished. And if I put vice grips on here, it's going to put big bite marks on there. We do not want bite marks on our key machine. So we're going to remove this shaft and polish it up, and we're going to go from there. I spoke earlier of a machine that is very complicated. This is a standard hardware store key machine called a KD50A. And this machine, put the keys in, you can turn the cutter on, everything seems to work. But let me tell you, I repair key machines, and it took me days to get this apart and to convince it to work. And I have a lot of parts here. This is very difficult. So maybe you could find one that doesn't need too much work, but like this one, nothing worked whatsoever in it. And they're just too complicated for a home mechanic. I was just barely able, 2 days of solid 8-hour days, to get this to function. So you got to be careful in the key machine that you're going to pick out. And not all key machines are good. This is a good one. I like using it, but it's very complicated.